Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into the incredible work of Buddhist Master Hsing Yun and his really unique take on how to share Chinese culture with the entire world. So, let's start with a big question. How do you share your culture, something you're deeply proud of, without making it feel like you're forcing it on someone else? This was a huge challenge that Master Hsing Yun faced head-on when his teachings started to go global. Okay, let's get into it. To really get his solution, we've got to start with his core belief. And that brings us to section 1, culture as a gift. For Master Hsing Yun, culture wasn't some kind of weapon for conquest. It was an offering, a gift you give freely, with no strings attached. You see, for Master Hsing Yun, Buddhism wasn't just some foreign idea that came over from India. No way. After 2,000 years, he saw it as a core part of China's cultural DNA, something that was completely woven into the very fabric of the nation. He believed that culture is literally the glue that holds a society together. And he saw that at the very heart of both Buddhism and Chinese culture was this shared spirit, this deep, fundamental belief in welcoming everyone and respecting all people. All right, section 2, the philosophy of exchange. So this core belief of his, it was about to get a major real-world test. And it happened during a really pivotal encounter at a top American university.
Can you imagine hearing that? Wow. But you know what? That comment, it wasn't an insult. For the master, it was a complete light bulb moment. It forced him to get crystal clear about his entire approach to sharing his culture with the world.
This slide just lays it out so perfectly. On one side, you have cultural aggression, right? Acting superior, trying to conquer, and all that does is make people push back. But on the other side, you have the path he chose, cultural exchange, offering a gift, fostering respect, aiming to share. It's a totally different energy. And this metaphor he used is just beautiful. His mission wasn't to take over or replace another culture. It was simply to contribute something of value, like offering flowers. It's an act of respect and friendship. So that's the philosophy. But what does it actually look like in the real world? Well, that brings us to section 3, temples as living bridges. Let's see how he actually put this whole cultural offering idea into practice all over the globe. He did it through his organization, Fo Guangshan. And they didn't just build 1 or 2 places, they created a global network of nearly 300 centers. And the key was, these doors were open to absolutely everyone. And here's what's so brilliant about it. These centers are so much more than what you might think of as a temple. They are buzzing community hubs. You've got language schools, art exhibits, community service, even dialogues between different faiths. They literally became living bridges connecting different cultures. And you can see the results right here. I mean, look at this. In London, a festival draws over 3,000 people from 10 different countries. In South Africa, a local drum team ends up performing for world leaders. And in places like Paris and Bangkok, these centers became this amazing common ground where people could forget about politics and just connect as people. Okay, so you start to see that this whole network is doing something much bigger than just holding local events. It's tapping into a really powerful idea in international relations, and it's also about investing in the future. Master Hsing Yun's work is pretty much a textbook example of what's called soft power. Now, that's the opposite of hard power, military might, economic threats. Soft power is all about attraction. It's when your culture and your values are so appealing that people are just naturally drawn to them. It's about persuasion, not coercion. And this quote just captures that idea perfectly. He saw unity not as making everyone the same, but as recognizing that each person, each culture has its own unique strength, like 5 different fingers. But when you bring them together with respect, they form a fist. Powerful not because it dominates, but because it's united.
Of course, a vision this big has to last beyond one lifetime. That's why he invested so much in education, with things like the Good Seedlings program. The idea was as simple as it was profound. Find promising kids, give them the support they need to fly, and nurture them to become the next generation of compassionate leaders.
All right, finally, let's look at our last section, a message in a brushstroke. And this is just a perfect illustration of how a huge global philosophy can be captured in something as simple and elegant as a piece of calligraphy. Believe it or not, this global tradition started with just one person asking for a piece of his writing.
but it quickly grew into something huge. Every single year, millions of copies of his unique New Year's blessing were shared all over the world. It became a really big deal. And you can see here just how thoughtful he was with each message. These weren't just random nice words. In 2009, right after the global financial crisis, his message wasn't about getting rich, but about cultivating a rich life. In 2013, the year of the snake, the message was all about resilience, advancing through life's twists and turns. So clever. You see, for him, this was never just about art. It was his way of sharing the moral heart of Chinese culture, values like kindness, hope, and resilience, and sending it out as a simple, beautiful gift that anyone, anywhere could appreciate. And that really brings us to the big takeaway question, doesn't it? In this super connected world of ours, what's the real power of a cultural gift? Master Hsing Yun's life seems to give us a pretty clear answer. The greatest power isn't in winning an argument or changing someone's mind. It's in opening their heart through an act of shared humanity.